going, guys? Well, looks like it's time for a shave and a haircut. That's besides the point. Last night, Thursday night, I had an opportunity to attend a wonderful event organized by this great organization called Fuel for Truth. And Fuel for Truth invited an Israeli soldier, I guess, who was here visiting on his break from fighting in Gaza. And so looked to be an interesting event. And it was held in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And so I get to Williamsburg, Brooklyn, park my car, walk over to the bar, and who do I see in front of the bar? Little kids. When I say little kids, I'm talking about 21-year-old kids screaming something about Nazis, something about occupiers, something about fascists, something about white supremacy, something about genocide, and all the rest of it. And folks, you know, they're standing there screaming. The people who are trying to attend the event, well, a lot of the people already got there earlier. Some people got there a little bit later, like myself. I'll tell you guys honestly, my friends and I were not afraid of those kids. The problem is two things. One is, if I walked in front of those kids while they're screaming all those things, it probably would have been a problem. Things would probably got physical. Even though I'm not a violent person, but things probably would have got physical. And I may have spent the night in a precinct. And or these kids would film anybody coming in and then splatter that person all over their TikTok feed. You know? Their wonderful TikTok informational, informative, hard-hitting journalist sphere. So, interestingly enough, I stood there for about 5 or 10 minutes. I filmed a little bit with these kids. You guys will see the video. And then I see the soldier coming out. I guess he came out to get something out of his car, being escorted by police, and he just, you know, to make sure that he was not going to get attacked, like physically accosted. And basically all these kids, like, you know, a bunch of lemmings, like a bunch of like sheeple, follow the kid, except for a couple of people. And I was basically able to, me and a few other people were able to come in into the bar, you know, kind of unharassed. So basically this guy, this soldier, this tzaddik, basically made an inadvertent diversion. I guess he learned into the idea, so we can come into the bar. I don't know if he meant it that way. I think he was just going to his car. I don't know if this was intentional. So we get into the bar, had a beautiful event. He actually spoke, ran into some friends. And then what happened with my friends? I'll tell you something which surprised me. The security and a couple of the cops came in. They're like, listen guys, we recommend that you leave through the back. You want to leave the bar? Go through the back of the bar. There's nobody there. Just go through the back of the bar, back entrance, back exit. So we all start going to the back, you know, trying to leave the back of the bar. And a few of the girls, guys, I'm telling you, you probably know, I am no, what they call, male feminist, for sure, not. I'm not in that category. But a few of the girls piped up and they said, what is this? What am I, Anne Frank? What are we, Anne Frank over here? We're not going through the back. We're going like we came in. I don't care if they're out there. So a couple of the girls literally went through, and there was cops standing there, you know, basically suggesting we don't leave through the front. And one girl just literally walked. She didn't even say anything to the cops, she just walked. And the police officer tried to stop me, and I was like, listen, I'm with her. And that was that. And then we're coming out, and as soon as we're coming out, these people are flashing, you know, their all their bullhorns and their little Scooby-Doo truck with a bullhorn attached to it. They're flashing their middle fingers. Of course, the minute I saw a middle finger, this one little girl with a mask. Of course, they're always wearing masks outdoors. Lord knows why. I guess COVID is floating around still, I guess. Of course, I started with my own chant, which I attribute from my years of being a hockey fan and screaming, "Let's go Rangers," but instead of "Let's go Rangers," "You like rapists, you like rape," and I did this for like maybe 30 seconds, and then the cop realized if I keep doing this, if he's not going to get me away, if he's not going to make sure that I walk away, there's going to be a problem. So these guys basically just kind of escorted me. They didn't get physical with me, they just kind of escorted me away from the crowd, so to speak. And then we're standing there, we're talking to the cop, and these kids, they just keep screaming like Nazis, fascists, this, white supremacists. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, this is a cult. The crazy part is, half these kids are Jewish. They're holding up signs, Jews against Zionism. A friend of mine even told me that maybe 2 of them he recognizes from a shul, which I won't say. You've seen them there. Folks, you understand, I have to tell you, these kids don't even understand what they're screaming. They don't even understand the definition of what they're screaming. They're just screaming. They were taught slogans. They sat for 4 years in an indoctrination camp, maybe longer. They were taught slogans. They were taught by whatever they were taught. Sorry guys, my phone is heating up for some reason. They were taught whatever they were taught. And that's it. And that's what they're regurgitating. And anybody who's in the IDF, anybody who supports the IDF is a white supremacist and a fascist and needs to go home. Where home is, nobody knows. What, America, Europe, I don't know. What about the Sephardim? They don't know. They don't care. My friends, the funniest thing was I saw at the end, we're standing there talking to one of the cops, just talking about different things. And we saw these, at least I noticed these 4 gentlemen, they look like they were from one of the stands, right? Maybe Muslim guys, and they saw that these kids were holding up a Palestinian flag. But these guys from the stands, they were laughing. They were literally they were like, do you guys see any, they probably think it was like, do you guys see any Middle Easterners over there? Do you see any Muslims over there? No, I just see a bunch of white kids wearing keffiyehs, screaming about fascism and all the rest of it. Folks, I told the police officer, these kids don't understand that if they get into the hands of somebody in Hamas, if they get into the hands of somebody who's a friend of Hamas, that comes, they're already here, really, or a friend of Hezbollah, their end is going to be the same as what the end is of any Israeli over there, or pretty much any gay person in their own community. They have nothing in common with these people. I don't know if you guys remember, in 2000, I think it was 6, Ahmadinejad came to speak at Columbia University. They asked him about gays in Iran. He said, we don't have such a phenomenon. And people just laughed. They laughed like it was funny. Folks, you support Hamas. For those of you listening, if you support Hamas, you support Hezbollah, you support all these people. They hate you. They will throw you off a rooftop if they could. To you, it's some kind of abstraction. Free Palestine. This, that. Folks, it was astounding. Sometimes you see things in the media, you see things on the news, and you think it's overblown, and you think it's like you think it's like something. When you see something on television, you don't really, it's not real. But when you see it up close and personal, and I've met these people and I've spoken to them, these types of people, you start to realize, wow, they actually exist. They're actually real. They're actually brainwashed. My friends, the thing that a little bit threw me off is I was standing with someone who's trying to get into that event, and I mentioned that, this is not my first rodeo. I had a situation in 2010 where someone interviewed me for 3 minutes, and I thought it was a pro person, and ended up being an anti-person, and they took a short clip where I said something about Obama. And the person goes to me, oh, how great of a president he was? They were serious. I'm like, and this is a pro-Israel person who was waiting to get into that event. I I said, no, how anti-Israel he was. And they're like, okay, like looking at me like I have 7 heads. Folks, there are still people among the pro-Israel crowd, even to this day, who understand how horrible this all is, who understand how horrible these people are that are protesting, who think that Obama was a friend to Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, he was not. His mentors in university are the same people, the same types of people who brainwashed those kids who were protesting outside that bar. There's a photo of him sitting with his mentors at a dinner in Chicago. There was another guy at that table who runs the website Electronic Intifada. My friends, whatever you guys are seeing from the so-called Biden administration right now, aka Obama 3.0, obstructing Israel from finishing the job, talking about, settler violence and talking about Islamophobia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Obama's ideology. These are Obama's words. He is running the show. That is what he is doing. This is who Israel is dealing with, my friends. And these people standing in front of that bar think that it's, Biden, this and that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, pro-Israel folks, Obama was no friend, never a friend. And if you want to tell me, he gave all this money for Iron Dome, ladies and gentlemen, we wouldn't need Iron Dome if we didn't pull out our people out of Gush Katif, out of Gaza, which we're going to take back, B'ezrat Hashem, very soon. My friends, folks, what I saw yesterday, honestly, was kind of a light version of what we see. My friend is saying the month of Adar is a good month to defeat Persia and its tentacles. Yeah, for sure. I've been saying that for a while. This is our Purim story, folks, and we have 2 Adars, so and then Pesach coming up. So, my friends, the sad part is that you ask a question: how did these kids find out about this event? It was a private event, invite only. Well, of course, a lot of these kids are on mailing lists of, Hasbara organizations such as this. Some of these kids went on Birthright, and there's always what we call spies, my friends, and that's the sad part. The sad part is not these even white kid Barista TikTokers. It's the Jewish kids who are so misguided, who would stand among these people, and they would kill them just the same. That's what these kids don't realize, and it's, I guess this is the story. The eternal story of the Jewish people. So that was the most startling kind of thing for me to see. Not that I don't know it exists. It does exist. It's very real. When you're talking about J Street and Soros and New Israel Fund and all the rest of it. But to see it up close and personal, my friends, it's always, that's the most, kind of earth-shattering part for me. But anyway, guys, on a positive note, I was very impressed with our ladies, who I gotta say, some of them are more brave than the men. I followed a few of them into, so to speak, battle. And that's what, again, I'm not saying this as a, what do they call it, male feminist? I'm saying it, I call it like I see it, what I saw yesterday. I was very impressed. Guys. And so I know we're in good shape. Because of what I saw, at least from our ladies, I know we're in good shape. And Baruch Hashem. Anyway, guys, just wanted to tell you that story. Cool story, bro. And gonna have a nice Shabbat here with some friends who I haven't seen in a while in the holy city of Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? Alright, guys. Shabbat Shalom. Chodesh Tov, Adar, Aleph. And talk to you soon.